changed my underwear. I just got recorded.
Yes, it did. It's exactly what you want on camera at the beginning.
I changed my underwear today. You guys should be so proud of me.
Aw, it's about time. I was like, she smells different today.
Yeah, I changed my underwear.
I'm like, that's what it is. Hey, Reject Nation, I'm Greg Alba. How are you? This is Adorkable Rachel.
I'm doing fine, thank you. Hi, everyone.
She does reactions and reviews on her channel as well. Right now, she is binging the MCU films because she's prepping to check out Infinity War this week. We are expecting a review from you.
Yes, I'm so excited about it.
I already saw Infinity War. You can check out our review on this channel, and we also have a sketch at the beginning of it. We'd love for you guys to go watch that. While we're here,
yes.
We should check out CinemaSins, Everything Wrong with Thor Ragnarok in 15 minutes or less.
Which is always fun to see the flaws in movies that you love. A lot of people don't like that, but I love it.
I love it too. I only saw this movie one time, but it'll be fun to see what I agree with and what I disagree with.
Me
Are
too.
you ready, Rachel?
I am. I saw it once too, but I loved it. This is the movie that finally really got me into Thor, so I'm excited.
A lot of people can agree with that. Let's check it out.
All right, let's do it.
41 seconds of logos. You know, if this Disney-Fox merger goes through, there's a good chance it's going to...
It's a really good point. It's a really good point.
I know what you're thinking. Oh no, Thor's in a cage. How did this happen?
Thoration.
You.
Someone get this skeleton an agent, because it has tremendous dramatic timing.
Thor, son of Odin.
Holy shit, that's Clancy Brown. Things just got about 100 times more parallax up in this joint. Also, this is what happens when you open up your superhero cinematic universe to aliens. Shit gets wonky and cartoony in a hurry. Just ask Steppenwolf, who incidentally is also a giant on-fire alien monster.
I cannot die. Not until I fulfill my destiny and lay waste to your home.
What a shitty destiny. For him and everyone else. He's like an intergalactic Airbnb nightmare.
You have seen Ragnarok, the fall of Asgard.
Ragnarok credits.
The great prophecy.
Prophecies. Also, great prophecies.
All will suffer. All will burn.
This entire opening scene is villain monologuing done to the extreme.
Knock that tiara off your head and stash it away in Asgard's vault.
Right next to the thing this guy wants needs to combine it with? Are you crazy?
Oh, yeah,
that was really
Also
cool.
knew not to search a real porn website for hammer porn, unless you like smash and improvised dildos. Why not start with that? Why waste the 25 seconds individually smashing enemies if you can do this? Did he just, like, level up or something?
That's a good point.
I'm wondering, what is the point of keeping Thor prisoner? Why not just kill him? Wouldn't that probably be an important step in fulfilling the prophecy? Does Surtur know that Thor will make the right decision to put his horns on the eternal flame later?
See, Odin charged Heimdall with negligence of duty, but he disappeared before the trial.
Goddamn Scourge, do you ever stop expositing? You're literally telling those girls plot stuff before Thor arrived, and
That's
now you're
true.
telling him plot stuff.
I'm supposed to announce your arrival.
F off, dude. There is no point in jogging to the city to arrive 10 minutes after Thor like you've accomplished something. Note to Asgard. Invest in intercoms and or radios, or shorter bridges.
I'm sorry about that thing with the Tesseract.
This
Between
was so
this, Euro
silly.
Trip,
This
Jay and
scene.
Silent Bob Strike Back, Finding Forrester, and Entourage, I'm thinking Matt Damon has a shot at the Best Collection of Cameos award that doesn't exist.
Do me a favor. Lock this away in a vault so it doesn't turn into a giant monster and destroy the whole planet.
The one thing that can fulfill the prophecy of Surtur changing into Mecha Godzilla is kept in the only place where it can cause harm. This is like if you buried Parallax in the pet cemetery. Also, planet? At the end of this thing, we will see your entire civilization as a city floating through space on a jagged rock. It's a comet or an asteroid way before it's a f***ing planet. The male and female actors behind Thor here are so shitty at faking a conversation, so important you would ignore the first appearance by Thor in years, that I'm wondering if they want a contest to appear in this scene.
You sound so angry.
Just the one.
That's true, but also Thor can fly, which can't really be this guy's fault, can it? If you were worried about Thor returning to Asgard without you knowing it, you should have picked a better herald.
I can't believe you're alive.
It's why, in general, you can never take death seriously in these movies. Big dramatic death scenes turn into parody plays starring Matt Damon.
And you don't have a phone? No, I don't have a phone, but you could have sent an electronic letter. It's called an email.
While this banter is pretty funny, you've got to think Doctor Strange has ways of communicating that don't involve phones or emails.
That's true. That's true.
Beautiful.
Wow, Norway looks fake as shit.
No, I've stopped Ragnarok. I put an end to Surtur.
It's already begun. She's coming.
Odin, who is thousands of years old, plays the pronoun game so that Thor has to ask who the hell she is.
Goddess of death.
Who is she?
Your sister.
How does Odin have a daughter that he's kept secret all this time? And while he admitted he screwed up by not telling Thor about her and what she can do, this sounds more like the type of thing where the character of Odin didn't know about her either until the script for this movie was written.
I'm prisoner.
Isn't that virtually the same thing? What a crazy universe we live in when someone can imprison a person with magic but can't stop that person with the same magic.
We can face it
No,
together.
behold, I'm on a different path now. This you must face alone.
Well, thanks, Dad. You created this mess by your own admission, and then you waited until you were this close to death to even tell us about it? God damn, Space Catwoman is hot.
Yeah,
really is.
Kate Blanchett's hot
So
in
if
this.
Hela's power is drawn from Asgard, how is she able to do this on Earth? Odin told us her powers would be limitless on Asgard, so how is this not already limitless?
It's not possible.
Why did Hemsworth decide to channel Shatter for this? I have it on good authority that this script started out as Maleficent too, and this is the only thing that survived from the first draft. Two mythical beings will now resort to
Hated
punching each other while
Maleficent.
flying through a wormhole. It's what Einstein would have wanted. Movie casually kills a couple of Thor's buddies, and it should be a lot more meaningful to us because of what they mean to Thor,
Big
but
flaw
it
for
simply
me.
isn't. Thor crash
Big
lands on
flaw.
a planet full of trash, and tell me this isn't the same place where the Transformers found themselves in The Transformers the movie. We're about to hear Dare to be stupid during a fight scene, aren't we? The
Or
Purge
Isle of
Ragnarok.
Dogs.
The Purge Ragnarok.
This is Thor.
Many apologies, Your Majesty.
It's kind of crazy how little this movie has to do with Ragnarok. It's like a side quest that you'd play in a Thor RPG if you had the time. When we last saw Hela, she was at the Bifrost Gate and had killed 2 people. Now she's deep into the city, surrounded by a giant army of Asgardians. What exactly transpired where she walked from one end of the city to the other and drew this kind of an audience without the army trying to attack them?
Hey, good
Be
point.
happy to see me.
Maybe give them, I don't know, any kind of proof that you're actually Odin's offspring, and maybe they'll come around. You just said some now you seem shocked no one believed you. What is even the point here? She defeated and banished Thor and Loki with 10% of the effort she's putting forth here, dispatching the generic Asgardian army. Can't she just do something that doesn't make this movie over 2 hours long?
I mean, it was a cool
The
scene.
answer is Sakaar.
It's awfully nice for this planet to have the infrastructure to put prisoners through a virtual Epcot Center ride that gives them all the details they need to know about the planet Earth.
It is the collection point for all lost and unloved things.
Not true, because I see neither my college Temple of the Dog CD nor my college self, one of which was lost and one of which was unloved. So the rumors are true. Every 20 years or so, Jeff Goldblum emerges from his hibernation to feed, mate, appear in movies, and become a big deal for 3 to 4 years before going back into the ground. In 20 more years, he'll be in the Avengers Infinity Star Wars and be the priest at the Han Solo Yukiko wedding.
You don't need to be afraid unless you made up
Okay, that was hilarious.
Just a little rock, paper, scissors joke for you.
In space? Way out in space? They still do rock, paper, scissors?
How'd you end up here?
Oh, well, I tried to start a revolution, but didn't print enough.
I
paper,
completely
so
forgot about this
nothing
guy.
changed
He was
up.
funny.
Has no one
stuck to
been
the
taught
city.
history?
You've been banished for decades, but you finally come home and expect the society that banished you to have taught your story to impressionable kids. Scourge somehow avoids getting his head smashed in by all that ceiling that just crashed down.
With the eternal flame, you are reborn.
That's exactly what this person who has so much power she can take out an entire army by herself needs. An army. Also, this eternal flame has a ton of uses, doesn't it? It's how Surtur will become a huge colossus when he puts his horns in it, and it can raise an army of the undead. It's one of those weird elements in movies that do whatever you need it to do at a moment's notice.
Yeah.
It's so useful it makes you wonder why it hasn't been used until now. Oh, a green glowing army of the dead and Kate Blanchett. What Lord of the Rings similarity will this movie think of next? Movie set up
that
as great
music.
and thinks it's running underneath the Blade Runner sequel. The
I think it's
Master
cool.
created this place to be whatever he wanted it to be. So why did he create a world where this shitty, glitchy hologram exists? Chris Hemsworth is way, way better looking than me. This movie's pretty funny, isn't it?
Yep, it is.
This planet.
Okay, haha. We all remember what Hulk did to Loki in the Avengers, but he's been here for weeks, and he's in good standing with the Grand Master. So how the f does he not know the Hulk is here after weeks of being on this planet? He would have at least been given a description of this guy, right?
Oh, Banner,
Yeah.
I never thought I would
True.
say this, but I'm happy to see you.
You definitely know better than to address Hulk as Banner, or to think one can influence the other. Alright, this is what we've been waiting for. Hulk versus Thor. We haven't seen this ever, except in the first Avengers, on the airship. And Thor had his hammer. Hulk should probably make quick work of Thor under those circumstances, since it was essentially a draw the first time. But probably not. Over 3 minutes of marginally thrilling, no-stakes gladiator fighting between 2 Avengers. Basically, space civil war on a smaller scale. Civil War sliders, if you will. I'm sorry, is this hammer supposed to have the power of Thor's real hammer? Hulk just threw Thor like a tennis ball a second ago. And now, with a random huge hammer, Thor's able to bat Hulk around like Bryce Harper in a Little League game? Well, they finally did it. They turned Thor into Raiden. Wouldn't the ability to shock Thor be impossible at this point since he's got the power of f***ing lightning?
Tell me about it.
That's true.
We need to fill some time while Thor and the others try to get off the car. I don't have much of a character other than I'm evil and want to rule the universe, so you need to fill in the gaps. Ah, the gunslinger.
You'll be safe here.
Welcome to Zion.
The
How'd
gunslinger.
you arrive here? Quinjet.
That still doesn't answer the question. Yeah, the Quinjet can be used to fly in space, but of all the places in the universe Hulk could have flown that Quinjet, the fact that he just happens to be on this planet is 2009 J.J. Abrams' Star Trek Spock Cave level of improbability.
Where is the Quinjet now?
Showing where the Quinjet is will require a naked Hulk to simply point out the window rather than just telling Thor where to look. This Heimdall vision is super convenient. Did we even know this was possible? That Heimdall could bring someone to Asgard via vision? This doesn't work.
You're being a really bad friend.
The Avengers Civil Thor.
Didn't see that, did you?
How did Thor know how this remote worked so that it would release him from the chakra thing? The button he's pressing here is no different from what Valkyrie pressed to shock him earlier. And considering how this movie works, I'm surprised he didn't shock himself for a big laugh.
Point Break.
Welcome, Point Break.
Good thing this ship is still totally functional after being here on this junk planet for nearly 2 years.
That's not a big surprise.
We don't know where Ultron's headed, but you're going very high, very fast.
This is not what she said in Age of Ultron. In that movie, she said the job was finished, and absolutely nothing about the whereabouts of Ultron. It's almost like this movie needed an easy reference for which movie this was from, so they invented an alternate recording just for this scene. Why does this old message from Black Widow cause his transformation back to Banner now, but didn't do so when she originally sent it?
I've been Hulk for 2 years.
Yeah, about that. How does Banner's demeanor stay sufficiently angry, even during sleep, to stay Hulk for 2 years?
I always wondered that too.
Interesting,
actually.
yeah.
Yeah.
Both back to you alive.
I could do it in two.
What is this? Name that tune? Just both go and try and do it. Jesus, is there any reason only one of them would get sent after Thor and Hulk? I just don't get Loki at all. He has all these illusions at his fingertips, but instead of using that, he's like a guy from Death Wish trying to rob Charles Bronson.
I'm terribly sorry. Must be a very painful memory.
Loki taps into the mind of Valkyrie to see the trailer for Valkyrie, not to be confused with the Tom Cruise Tries to Kill Hitler movie. This is just gorgeous. Everything about this scene is rad.
Sun's going down to the sun's getting
Would you stop saying that?
Thing I said out loud somehow comes out of character's mouth at the same time.
Abomination.
Well, isn't that the most convenient appearance ever? Not only did Valkyrie find a way to go to the exact place she needed to be at this moment, but the beast that was about to hit Thor also had a controlling device on his neck.
Is that a dragon fan?
More importantly, are those grapes? It's kind of amazing that the Grand Master allowed Valkyrie to continue to have control over all these prisoners after she sold them to him. Why doesn't he have his own controlling devices on them once the sale is complete?
We are not doing Get Help.
Characters do the thing that they said they wouldn't do immediately after saying they wouldn't do it cliché.
I should figure this out. It's just another spaceship.
Well, that was easy.
That it was.
That's right. You can stand on top of a spaceship that explodes, not get hurt at all, and by some sort of magic, you can get thrown to another ship and grab it by the seams as it hurtles through the air. How are all these ships missing? Valkyrie Mario jumps her way across the bad guy ships to do some miracles, and it's super fun.
It's cool. It's cool anyway. I think it's super cool.
Flying alien spaceships!
Okay, movie, you can't have it both ways. You can't wring comedy from Banner shouting about how hard it should be for him to fly an alien spaceship, then have him fly it perfectly for the rest of the movie. No.
Nah, it's
Even the
just
special
a
effects think this is bullshit.
fun scene. Fun scene.
Coming up on the devil's anus.
Man, this movie has more utterances of the word anus than most anal porn or even most proctology lectures.
Rachel would know.
Executioner.
Does she have any reason to have kept him around? She hasn't relied on him for local knowledge. He's not any stronger than the next Asgardian. She can execute people herself quite easily. This character is here so that he can have a change of heart at the end, but I can't think of a single purpose he serves for Hela, other than to stand and watch her listen while she does and says expositional things that we, the audience, need to learn.
Here, up in the mountains. Heat signatures. People clustered together.
How is it so easy for this ship to find the people, and thereby the Bifrost sword, but the god of death who flings daggers with her brain and crushes magic hammers wasn't able to find it until she threatened to start beheading fools and someone told her where it was? Wow, she really did the eyeball math on those doors perfectly. I'm not sure I understand Thor's battle plan here. The last time he ran into Hela, she started his hammer into oblivion. He doesn't realize yet that he can control his power without the hammer, so what's the plan? Yeah, no one wanted to see what happened next or anything. How did the metallic weapon cause that wound, but no signs of damage outside the eye?
Yeah.
Stupid dog won't die!
The wolf is immune to bullets because we need a reason for Banner, who has been useless as a character here, to turn back into the Hulk.
You wanted to know who I am? You'll see!
That was so cheesy.
This is just plain awesome, even though Edward Norton did this in The Incredible Hulk and it wasn't played for laughs. I don't think I quite understand how Bruce dying makes the Hulk emerge, but I think it's consistent with what these movies are saying is possible, so I'm removing this in for this. Yeah, no one wanted to see what happened next anyway.
Right? Come on, guys.
Luckily, this triggers Thor's Dumbledore dream, so Odin can give him a message from beyond the grave, or ether, or wherever Odin went.
That hammer was to help you control your power, to focus it. It's never your source of strength.
Thanks, Dad. You could have told me about my power way before this literal Ex Machina dream sequence, but I realize these revelations need to arrive in the stupidest way possible.
Why do they always wait until it's too late?
Never was.
Like Idaho? So begins one of the longest walks ever, so that the heroes can figure out how to fight Hela, the truth about Ragnarok, and the very meaning of life before she arrives.
The longer Hela's on Asgard, the more powerful she grows.
Hela has shown nothing but complete and utterly infinite power since she first showed up in this movie. There isn't a gauge for how much more power she can attain. She's shown zero weaknesses and can be more effective.
This was not about stopping Ragnarok, this was about causing Ragnarok.
Well, it's a good thing you didn't take CinemaSin's advice and take Surtur's crown light years away from this place. But it's not like you knew that then. Yes, Loki's going to steal this, because Loki's got a Loki. My question is, if he had free reign on Asgard for as long as he did, why hasn't he already stolen this thing and used it? Yeah, good for you for finally doing the right thing after all those times you did the wrong and horrible thing. All is forgiven. Carl Urban Commando.
Do you really think it's a good idea to bring me back to Earth?
No, especially since you assholes already agreed it would be in Loki's best interest to stay on Sakaar. And you know Doctor Strange is going to f*** Loki up with your Do you guys forget everything in order to service the future plot? Because space is apparently a one-lane highway, Thor's Ark runs into Thanos' ship on the way to Earth. To Infinity War and beyond, yo!
You can't have a revolution without somebody to overthrow. So, you're welcome. And, it's a tie.
Aren't you glad you waited through 10 minutes of credits to see that? Holy crap! So many revelations for the future of Marvel there. Man, I am glad I prevented the ushers from cleaning this movie for that.
Fraggle Rock.
But the animal
That,
is inside
that's
out.
not punishment, yo. That's awesome.
That's
And
awesome.
it exploded.
You must be Hela.
What?
Harry Potter.
Yeah, I know. What are they doing there? I love this movie, by the way. Ah, okay.
Roll just ass.
Zion.
It's too strong. Without my hammer, I can't.
The ring is Bobkin's. I found it in a crackerjack box. The Schwartz is in you, Lois. It's in you.
I cannot die. Not until I fulfill my destiny and lay waste to your home.
Whoa, is my hair out?
Hey, girl.
Meow.
Yes. That's just like Disney World. I was just there.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Bigger scar.
Yes, you must give us all a good spanking.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Wow, CinemaSins.
Good
You have
job,
put together
CinemaSins.
an epic video again. I felt like most of this was actual just like insane nitpicks.
Nitpicks,
Like
well, yeah.
every once in a while, it's like, of course, there's CinemaSins. Most of the time, it isn't just nitpicks. But every once in a while, you watch a video of theirs where you're like, you know, that's a good point. And I found myself mainly going, nah, it's just a CinemaSin nitpick, instead of actually agreeing with some stuff.
I know, but there definitely was a few things where you're like, oh, you're right, I didn't notice that. That's
Yeah.
true. But I mean, in these movies, especially with superhero movies, it's to be expected that there's always going to be like little plot points here and there.
Of course.
Oh yeah, they could have totally gotten around that. But then again, it just comes down to whether or not that completely takes you out of being able to enjoy the movie.
Yeah.
And with those kind of nitpicks, for me, not so much. No, I still would really enjoy watching this movie again, regardless.
Yeah, especially when it comes to like their action sequences. And, like in the very beginning where he has the hammer and then they're pointing out how he could have just done that big giant thing earlier and just taking them all out instead of like individually taking them out. Yeah, sure, that could have happened that way. At the same time though, I'm like, it looks cooler though.
But it was really cool.
It's cooler the way it's executed.
As long as it was fun to watch, that's all that matters.
And I'd rather keep it that way. Certain nitpicks I just don't agree with. Like Thor returns and Scourge starts running across the bridge. I'm like, yeah, I know there's no point in Scourge going, but
he
it's
has a
funny,
duty
and that's,
to,
that's
yeah.
what Scourge would do, though. You
Yeah.
know, it's in alignment with his character. Did you know that the guy who plays Thor in the play with Matt Damon is actually one of Chris Hemsworth's brother? The guy who's on
Actually,
Westworld?
yes, I did know that.
I did not know that until very, very recently.
It is noteworthy, though, that they took a lot of points back, because, yes, this movie was that awesome and had many awesome points.
That's true. You know, it's a good movie when CinemaSins
Have to take their points back.
I agree with the point of how when Hela shows up, she kills off two of Thor's buddies. personalities who were so significant as part of Thor's team in the first 2 Thor movies, and how that's kind of just meaningless here. Last time you see Hela, she just arrives in Asgard, and the next time you see her, she's in front of this huge crowd of people and soldiers and stuff. And it is that question of, how did all these people just assemble here now, and she has this giant arena for people to watch her?
Movie magic.
Yeah. It's like, whatever. And then, but that is a good point in terms of she does start individually fighting every soldier when she kind of takes out Thor's hammer like it's nothing. There's no point to her really fighting, but that's just another thing of, but it looks cooler.
But it looks cool, yeah.
It's a cool fight.
The bigger flaws in movies to me are the ones that you notice upon first viewing, but you don't really think about that kind of stuff when you first see it. It just kind of makes sense upon viewing it.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
And like you said, it's just fun to watch. And I think that this movie is filled with so much of that. It's like, who cares if there's flaws? It's just a really fun movie.
That's
to
the whole
watch.
point of the movie. Is it's nothing but fun.
It's goofy and it's silly.
It's goofy. There's other flaws too of how Loki just discovers the Hulk being there, but Loki's been there for a few weeks, and he would have at least have heard of the Hulk, because they call him the Hulk here. He would have heard one time about who this crazy gladiator is, since all of
Especially
Sakaar,
considering how popular he is.
how popular he is, how all of Sakaar thrives off these gladiator matches.
Yeah.
He would have heard of him at least one time.
I did always wonder about that though. Like, how did he stay Hulk during the few weeks that he was here?
Even when he's sleeping.
Yeah,
they pointed that out.
Yeah, because I think I remember even thinking, like, did I miss something? Did they, like, inject him with something that made him stay
detail
Hulk?
that we're forgetting about?
Yeah.
And they didn't seem like to have any idea who Bruce Banner was.
Yeah.
Or
that is one, I think, flaw that they could have managed to fix in this movie.
Because they're implying that he kind of just shows up as Hulk.
Yeah.
And he just stays that way the whole time. So yeah, that is a pretty big...
just one of those things like, hey, all I needed was one sentence of explanation.
One sentence.
I've been okay with this.
One sentence would have just really wrapped it up. I mean, most of this I just find to be incredibly detailed nitpicks that I'm like, sure, you could ding them, whatever. Overall, still a fun video.
Yeah.
It's still a lot of fun. CinemaSins is usually just fun to me.
Yeah.
I don't usually watch them and go, wow, this movie's just filled with flaws.
No,
isn't it?
I don't either. I just love making fun of things.
Yeah, absolutely. So good job to you, CinemaSins.
Good job, CinemaSins.
Thanks for watching with us. You guys can subscribe to the Reject Nation. Click that notification bell. More importantly, follow Adorkable Rachel on YouTube. We follow her. She does reactions and reviews over there as well. So please do us a solid, follow her, or else she'll never come back on this channel, which will make this guy sad.
Bye.
YouTube, bye.
Okay, thank you so much, guys, for having me.